prove yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish, and someday you will be a real boy.
Real boy, real boy. Hey. Okay. 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 Hey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Michael Rogers. Welcome to the Real Boys Podcast. This is great value water. Used to be $4.75 for like 24 of them at Walmart. This one water alone, I had to buy out of the back of a 57 Chevrolet pickup with wooden slats up the side of the bed. Chickens running around, hay bales in the back. $36. I would be saying that if this was 2025. I don't know if people know what Marxism is, socialism. These are things that killed the Soviet Union, among other very, I wouldn't say great as in good, but great as in grand and big empires. It doesn't work. It works for a little while. This price, what's it called? Skip. Price gouge cap. This price gouge cap that Yas Queen is proposing for her administration sounds nice. You're like, well, then, I could go to the store and Doritos will always be $2.50, for a bag. That's not how this works. And also, they are wanting private companies to basically share publicly quarterly what they're making, what their prices are for supplies, shipping, things like that. They want to make that public knowledge. That's not good. A lot of people say capitalism is people have said capitalism is racist. That is an ignorant statement. Maybe, well, let's just get this out of the way. Let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. From the time this country was made, definitely until the late 1800s, and I'll even go a step further to say into the mid-19s, 1970s, 60s, 50s. Financially, morally, in every way possible, money and racism and all that did fall hand in hand. This is 2024. While, yes, there are still probably some families that have been raised over time in the same, and they could be any ethnic background. That doesn't, or I think nowadays, anybody who has the willpower, the knowledge, the sources, everything. And some sources are a little harder for people to get who live in, inner cities and things like that, and out in the rural countries, in the country. But yeah, no, capitalism is you getting up, putting your best foot forward. What you make is how you're made. You can come from the projects, a trailer park, whatever, the most countryest little bumpkin town in America, and become a person who owns skyscrapers and have billions of dollars. No, capitalism is not racist. In the past, yeah, probably a little bit, but I wouldn't even blame money back then. That was moral declination, is what that was. So no, this country has to have capitalism and what you would call like company privacy to run. Everybody's like, oh, I don't. Everybody that I know that complains about this country enjoys the luxuries of it more than anybody I know. So we've got a situation to talk about. Price gouge capping. If you line up, let's just say, like, I ain't gonna say sentence for sentence because it's a lot of sentence. But if you line up idea for idea, well, what that actually means below the surface, that is basically like the first step towards socialism economically. Because do you like going to the store and knowing that your eggs may be I got something in my throat, $4 to $5, $6 in the worst times for 12? Well, with price gouge capping, that will no longer be. It causes a disrupt in supply and demand. It causes a disrupt in food safety. I dare to say it causes more divide. If you make a company have to basically display to the world what its costs are, what its profits are, and you sell a bottle of water for 10 cents a bottle, you got Nestle and you've got Great Value. Well, if Great Value knows that you are spending 80 cents a bottle and you've only have a 10 cent profit margin, and they spend the same exact as you, but they know that they can drop 1 penny and still pay all the bills, Nestle ain't getting no business. So think about these things before you just, oh yeah, she's the first black girl president. Yeah, vote. But also don't vote against her if you don't know what she's about either. I'll say that. Don't vote for her if you don't know what she's about. But don't vote against her either. All you have to do is look for information. If you hear any candidate ever or anybody say anything, and you are really interested in that, I would advise to go home or sit right there in front of them and just kind of maybe look up a little bit of what they're saying. A lot of times when you go to look up what the left is saying, you don't find anything, and that's even scarier because the media controls what you think. You ever heard an older person say, Oh, I gotta go watch my programs. Think about that. Your program, my programming. They're programming you. They're programming me. Something told me to set up basically a media outlet. I'd say this is what this is, even though I don't get a lot of views or subscribers or whatever. Some people listen, some people give me feedback, but this is a media outlet. I never want to cause division. I never want to say something that, unless I'm being satirical, that harms anyone or isn't true. I may ask questions, I may make jokes like it is true. That's neither here nor there. But when it's something serious, like, contrary to a lot of people's likes and stuff, just because they may hate the other person running it or about to run it, I do my homework. I look past personality. Do I think Trump is a great personality? No. I don't. But if you can find anything about the personality of this person about to run now for the other side, what I want to, who was running against Trump in the I guess what would you call that, the Republican nominations? Is that what it's called? Yeah. I think he just overwhelmingly took it because people are tired. People are tired. And we're all at a point where in the next couple of months we're all going to have to ask ourselves, what now? What now? Me personally, I don't think there will be a peaceful transition of power no matter how this goes. That's scary. If you have kids, if you have a life you've built here, it's scary if you haven't. We're having congressional hearings on all these problems, and it just seems like nothing ever gets done. What are we paying these people for? We need to have a gavel smacking 2-day max time, last meal, clean out. Because nothing's going to change if we don't. Yeah. I don't understand it, man. The congressional hearings on Biden's involvement in all of his son's dealings are still going on. Everybody has all of the evidence, but they just drag it out after a month after a month. Let me ask y'all this. What would happen to our jobs if we were like, yeah, we know. Think about information and trials like that as if you were a pizza maker at just a pizza place at your town. You need to fill 350 million orders or better. You have 350 pepperoni pizzas. 350 million pepperoni pizzas that you have to get out before they throw a party at the end of the year. Oh, no. Let me rephrase that. You have 350 million people that you have to feed with pizza. And they all, you see what I'm saying? The pizza are facts. And So you're a boss. You're a what was that? Who would that be? Chuck Schumer or Pelosi or somebody? I don't even know who the hell is doing it now. But you gotta get all these pizzas made before November 6th. And you're just coming in every day with 30 other, 40 other, 50 other people, letting them work 5 minutes at a time. And then letting it sit for 5 minutes and listening to shit. Nothing is. The pizza makers are working diligently. They're putting all the ingredients there. And then you got the guy loading it in the oven, and he's just like, well, I can't really load these into the oven and spit a hot pizza out on the other side. You're not going to get all these pizzas to these people to feed them by that time if you don't work. They work so little. They sit there. They ask questions. They're asking for raises from our pockets. And every deal, every conviction, everything is sitting in limbo. And no matter if you're a Republican, Democrat, free, whatever, we need to know these answers, because that has a lot to do with how this election goes. And when you're not getting the facts out there in time because, oh, we need a break, or, Mayorkas is whatever, filibustering. I love that, filibuster. It sounds like popcorn, 2 VHSs, and some candy that you would get back in the day from Blockbuster as like a family package. The filibuster. Dad, let's watch The Boy in Striped Pajamas in the dark night. Eat some popcorn. Eat some candy. Son, we can't afford all that. Dad, don't worry. Blockbuster has the new filibuster deal. But you won't be able to afford it, because Kamala's going to put a cap on the gouging. Oh, man. But some bad shit about Trump. He's got thinning hair. Ooh, I know. He lives in Mar-a-Lago. There's some bad hombres down there. I think Trump liked escorts at one time. Probably still sometime. Who knows? That's the thing. You can't attack what that dude's done for the country as far as economics policy. I kind of feel like he drove like an unnecessary racial thing. But it wasn't his doing. It was people saying that it was his doing. I can't believe he said, is Kamala Indian? Dude. You know what pisses me off really about shit like that is if we were all just friends hanging around in a room, there was 20 or 30 of us, and somebody spoke up and was like, say, I don't know, I'm going to say Deborah, but like, say Julia walks in one day, and then the next day she's totally different in everything she does. And somebody was just like, what's Julia today? Salty or white girl or whatever. People would laugh and be like, oh, yeah, flip-flop bitch. Like, but, oh man, when you say it about that candidate, don't say it about that candidate. If somebody told Trump, what are you today? Are you a white man, or are you a fucking tangerine with a hairpiece? Hell, CNN would probably praise it. Like, some double picking double sides here that ain't cool. You know. But I'm not gonna get off on a rant because dude looks like a tangerine. I don't. That is an odd shade. Trump is an odd shade. He looks his complexion is like pressure treated plywood that's gotten wet, like a fresh rain on it. Like, you know, decking to a roof of a house before the shingles are on. That orange, just, I don't know. And then around his eyes, it's just totally white. Looks like he has a mask on sometimes, which will make sense because he is kind of like Batman.